Hello you guys and welcome back to our YouTube channel. My name is Drew if you're new here, and let's get into this girly talk. Okay, if you are not a girl, keep on scrolling because this is going to be girl TMI talk for the married ladies, the single ladies, just all the girls out there. I feel like a lot of you guys are my best friends, and I feel like a lot of us are just besties that haven't met. So grab you a nice coffee, grab yourself a notebook and pen, and we're gonna get into some of these questions that you guys asked me over on Instagram and just get into the nitty-gritty of being a girl and being open and talking about the things and the struggles of being a girl so that you don't feel alone, because I know sometimes I feel alone in these struggles as a woman. So let's talk about it. Okay, so one of the biggest questions I got was pads or tampons, and then I also have a tampon story. So a lot of y'all expected me to not wear tampons because I saved myself for marriage, but honestly you guys, I have never been a tampon girl. So I'll tell my first period story, but I'll also tell you why I don't use tampons. So I remember the day that I started my period. It was the day that the Muppets movie came out. So if you guys want to Google when that was, it was the Muppets movie with the actual humans and the Muppets. And I remember I was laying in our game room, or it was like our homeschool room / game room. And I was laying in there and my stomach hurt so bad. And I was like, what is happening? And I told my mom, I was like, I'm getting the stomach bug. Well, then I run to the bathroom and I go to the bathroom and I'm bleeding and I'm like, oh, there's no way. And my mom was very open and honest about your body and kind of like what goes on with it. I had 2 older sisters, so I kind of knew like what to expect. So I was so embarrassed because my dad was in there and my sisters were in there. So I just went ahead and went to sleep that night and hoped that nothing was going to happen. And so also there's my mom's dog and the other dogs. I have the door open because the dogs literally cannot let me be by myself. They have to be with me. But anyways, so the next morning, that was a Saturday. The next morning we got up to go to church and it was hurting so bad. So I finally went in there and I told my mama, I said, Mama, I started my period. What do I do? So she gave me, my sister woke up and she gave me some pads. Don't knock my coffee over. She gave me some pads, and honestly, honest to God, I put the pad sticky side up. So good thing that I wasn't bleeding heavy that day because I put the pad sticky side up and it was stuck to my skin. A little hurt, just a little bit, but we were always so good. We're just gonna have Mint in the video. So the reason why I don't use tampons is because one year at VBS, so which is Vacation Bible School, all my friends were wearing tampons, and I thought, okay, well if all my friends are wearing tampons, then I need to wear tampons, and I was horrified by one. So I put one in and I did not know that you needed it. It was like on one of my last days of being on my period. So this is a girly talk. So if you know on your last day, it's not the best time to put a tampon in unless you're a pro. Well, it got stuck up there and I could not get it out. I literally had to call my friend in the bathroom and she had to help me get it out. So I think I was about 12 or 13, and after that, I've never put another one back in there. Now that I'm married, I do not put another one back up there. I just don't like them. They honestly, whenever it's in there, I feel sick to my stomach. I don't know if that's just me, but I feel like, I don't know, there's just something in my stomach and it hurts and I just can't wear them. So I'm a pad girly. I can insert a picture right here of the pads that I use. I do use the teenager ones because they smell like watermelon, but I do also like some Kotex ones. Yeah, I have no shame about it. This is just a girly talk Q&A, so I'm just gonna be stinking real. And other questions I get are, what period products do I use and what period app do I use? So currently I use the Flow app. I used to pay for it, but I just use the free version now because it's the exact same. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what my app looks like. Just because it says this does not mean that like I'm pregnant or anything, but my app does say this. I'm supposed to start my period, I guess, on Saturday. So there you go. Like I said, I'll go ahead and insert some pictures right here of the products that I use. A lot of you guys asked me if I use hygiene products for feminine care down there. When I first got married, I did buy a Vagisil wash because nothing had ever been down there before. And I thought I had to, but after you guys told me everything, I never used it. In a few goodie bags that I got at like my wedding shower, people gave me like Vagisil wipes and stuff. And I might use those like if I'm out of town or something, but I've never really used them like when I'm at home. I just use Dove sensitive soap and a washcloth, or I use my hand, let's be real. But yeah, I don't really use any products down there, just really soap and water, mostly water. And you don't want to put anything in there, you just want to clean around it, if that makes sense. So sticking with the down there topic, a lot of you guys ask me how do I shave down there, and if I'm gonna be really real, I shave it bare, let it grow back, shave it bare, Like, that's just how I've always done it. I prefer the bare, and I just let it grow out to where it gets a little bit where I like it, and then I shave it again. So that's that, and that's all I'm gonna say. Sticking with the down there topic, one last thing. A lot of you guys knew that I did start my period on our wedding day. So I thought I had timed out my period perfectly, but I obviously didn't. And I was so ready to get married that I really didn't care. And so I'm gonna tell you the story on how I knew it was happening. So basically that morning I woke up and I felt like my stomach hurt, but I honestly thought it was just like the nerves of getting married. I thought my stomach felt nervous. I felt a little bit queasy. So I thought, okay, there's no way my period's starting. It's supposed to start, like, I could probably wait another 3 days and I'd be fine. So that day my stomach was just hurting, and if you look at my photos, my stomach was so bloated. And the worst part about my period is I have the worst cramps and I get the worst bloated ever. Like, my stomach looks so bloated that I look pregnant, and it's just like, it's no-go. So I thought that my stomach was just hurting and that I was nervous and that all these things were happening, that I was just having a nervous stomach, okay? Well, that night I go to the hotel with my husband, and there was already blood, and I was like, we didn't even do anything yet. And I was like, are you stinking kidding me? So I told him, and he was so sweet about it. I personally have a super sweet husband that is not grossed out by those things. He is so nice and so, like, goes at my pace. So he even was like, hey, we can wait until you're off of it if you want to do that. And I was like, sir, we literally waited for 5 years. I am not waiting anymore. If you're fine, I'm fine. And so we actually ended up whatever. So yeah, I was on my period for our whole honeymoon. Day one, I was so sick. I was vomiting. Like, and I told my mom, I don't know if it was my period that made me vomit and have those really bad cramps. I don't know if it was just nervousness that was on top of that. But yeah, that stinking happened. And I've talked about it before with you guys. I've never really went into detail though. But yes, I did start my period on my wedding day, and I can even like insert some pictures somewhere. But it was so horrible how like bloated my stomach was and how like yucky. I thought my stomach was hurting because of nervousness, but no, I was cramping the whole day, and if I would have taken medication I would have not cramped at all. But I was just such on a cloud 9 and such a happy high that I wasn't even like upset about it. But yeah, that really did happen, and everybody always said like, oh my gosh, what if you saved yourself for marriage all these years and you started your period on your wedding night? And I was like, girl, I did. I really did. And honestly, it was the best night ever, so it's okay. I'm not gonna do too many TMI questions, but another one that I get, speaking of periods, is if we do it on my period, and the answer is absolutely yes. I feel like I like him more on my period anyway, so that's all I'm gonna say, but yes, we do. Like I said, I have a really sweet husband that really nothing grosses him out when it comes to that kind of stuff. I know a lot of men are like that and some aren't, and if yours isn't, that's okay. Like, everybody has their own personal preferences and everybody has their own personal way of doing things. But yeah, it doesn't matter time, day, nothing. No matter what I'm doing, he's down to do whatever. So yes, we do. Not like, oh, I don't know how to explain it, but answer is yes. I got this one a lot. It was baby names that I love but won't be using. So for a little boy, I really like Banks Foster Basham. I think it is so cute, but Gabe doesn't like it because he says Banks Foster Basham. Sounds like a sophisticated old dude, and he's like, I don't want to look like a little baby and think of an old dude. So I probably won't use that one. I might use it. I don't know. And then for a little girl, I love the names Collins, like K-O-L-L-I-N-S. Yeah, Collins, and call her Collie for short. I know a few people in my area right now that are naming their babies that. They're spelled it a little bit different, but I don't want to like use the same name, and I'm not like dead set on it. So like, I love that name, but because it's a very used name now, I'm kind of like on the fence, but I might still use it. I don't know. I've loved that name for so long. I used to follow a influencer. I don't know where she went. She like dropped off the face of the earth, or I just can't find her anymore, but her little baby's name was Collins with a C, and ever since then I've just loved it. I think it's the cutest name ever, calling her Collie for short. But yeah, those are two baby names that I love but probably won't be using, but I might use them still. I don't really know. Another question I get a lot is, what form of birth control are we on? And the answer is none. I've never used anything before. We've just been kind of going with the flow, kind of using your brain, you know, the method, if that makes sense. So yeah, we don't really use birth control, but I mean, whatever happens, happens. I got this question a lot and it really made me sad, like really, really sad, is people ask me if I ever get insecure during intimacy with my husband, or if when we first got married, if I was insecure or nervous. Yes, I was nervous, but I just want to say, like, it's okay to be insecure. It's okay to like not like yourself every day, if that makes sense. I will say the only times I get really insecure is when I'm taking a shower and I look over and there's like the mirror, and I look at myself in the shower and I'm like, there's no way that's what I look like, and I get so like embarrassed. But I will say, oh my goodness, sorry about that. My mom's dog's over and I have the window open so she literally can see out there and see everything. But I was gonna say is that my husband is very like, I don't know, he's just so sweet and he makes me feel so beautiful and so comfortable. I feel like everybody after we got married constantly told me like, Drew, you're glowing. Drew, you're just so like, you're just so confident. And I think the main reason being is because he hypes me up and makes me feel beautiful every single day. And so, I mean, I get nervous sometimes, but I think because he just loves every part of me and makes me love every part of me. It makes me look at myself in a different light. And so I just feel, I get those waves of insecurity, like that's completely normal. Like if you feel that, that's completely normal. There's days where I absolutely hate the way that I look. And then there's days like today where I'm like, okay girl, you're looking good. So, I mean, yes, I have had those moments where I feel a little bit insecure, but I mean, for the most part, he makes me feel so beautiful and so wanted, and like my body is the best thing ever. And I just forget all the skinny girls and all the things that in my mind, and I think I look like, you know, like a model or something because he makes me feel that way. But also I think it's really important that just because he makes me feel that way does not mean that I need to feel that way about me. You see what I'm saying? Like I can't just let him make me feel that way. I need to feel that way deep, deep down. And I do some days, but I'm a human just like you're a human, and we have our days of insecurity. So I will say, like, yeah, there's some days where I am a little bit insecure more than others. But like I said, he always like hypes me up, so it makes me feel a little bit better. So another question that I got asked a ton was, are we judged for wanting to have kids so young? So let's talk about it. So I personally feel like because we got married so young that everybody knew that we would want kids so young. And I've always talked about having kids so young, which I'm only 21 right now. But personally, my parents and his parents were never mad. They were literally on the same page. So we talked to Gabe's parents and we talked to my parents, and they both kind of told us the same thing, that they both had kids young and that they wanted us to live our best life and to just do whatever the heck we wanted for however the heck long we wanted. I'm sorry, Coco. By the way, this is my mom's dog that's at my house today. But anyways, I kind of agreed. At first I didn't agree with them, and I was like, no, I want to have kids when I want to. I want to do it right now. Well, then I feel like God has a funny way of working out your life, okay? I feel like if our life would have went to plan, we would have gotten pregnant the month after getting married, and we would have like 2 kids by now at 21. And I personally feel like God knew our plan, our path, which he already does. But Gabe got sick the month after, April, May. So he got sick 2 months after we got married. And I feel like that truly is a part of our life story because we had to focus on each other. We had to learn how each other is, and we had to go through trials together. And I feel like adding kids on top of that, we would have lost ourselves. I feel like we wouldn't even be where we're at right now if we had kids with that, if that makes sense. And so I'm grateful for everything that's happened in our life. I'm grateful for the way it's planned out, because I thought I would already have like 2 kids by now. And God knows before I know, and I'm grateful that I don't have any just yet. Like I want some. I really do want kids, but I'm very grateful with how it's worked out. Like at first I was very like upset about it, but now I'm kind of good with it because I know that we have a lot of growing to do as a couple, as people, as individuals. But no, my parents and Gabe's parents were never like mad at us. They said, you know, a baby's a blessing no matter what, no matter the situation. So if you got pregnant the day of or the day whatever, they're like, you know, it's whatever. Like if you have a baby, you have a baby. As long as you can take care of it, you're financially stable, you have a house to like raise your baby in, or an apartment. If you have like a, you know, a place to live, basically. It doesn't have to be a house, but if you had somewhere to live and raise your baby, then that's all that mattered to them. But yeah, no, our parents never really got mad at us, and they didn't get mad at us for wanting to get married young either. I've gotten that question a lot too, is like if our parents were mad at us for getting married so young. I think at first I think they didn't believe us. I think they were just like, okay, sure, whatever. At least Gabe's parents, I feel like they were just like, okay, Gabe. And then when Gabe asked my dad, they were like, oh, okay, Gabe, like this is for real. And then we got engaged, and here we are. But yeah, our parents have never really been mad at us for that kind of stuff. And the last question, this might be a long one, but I've got this one so much. I thought about just ignoring it, but I was like, you know what? We're just gonna talk about it. So I got some questions on how do I handle the hate? Well, guys, it started getting really bad last year, the end of summer, and I feel like that's where a lot of like my depression, weight gain, anxiety, all the things that I never thought that I would struggle with. I'm a ball of sunshine. Like, I'm about to start crying for no reason. I'm a ball of sunshine. I love to be a happy person, and I feel like Gabe got sick, and that just put a dark cloud over us. And then the internet just decided to come in and absolutely hate me and destroy me to pieces. And every day I get picked apart. I get told how ugly I am, how fat I am, how horrible I am, how I'm the worst wife, how it's my fault that Gabe's sick. It's my fault that Gabe has a tumor. It's my fault that Gabe has gained weight. It's my fault that I've gained weight. It's my fault that such and such happened to so-and-so, and all these like bad things. And you know, yes, I choose to put my life out there, but I never thought that I would get that amount of hate. But I would say I wouldn't trade it for the world. I absolutely love my job, and I'm not complaining, but it's okay to be a human and be upset sometimes about the things that people say to you. Because I read a quote somewhere where it was like, if your daughter went to school and somebody bullied her every single day, you wouldn't just tell her to take it and shut up. You would want her to stand up for herself. And with social media, I feel like everyone's just like, get over it, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. And so in that moment, I was going through my darkest time. Gabe was going through his darkest time. And I masked how I was feeling because I wanted to be there for my husband that was scared for his life. And so I feel like I just bottled it all down and down, and I just stopped being me. I stopped acting like me. I stopped dressing like me. I started to gain weight. I started to just not care anymore. And it was really a hard, dark time in my life that I don't like to talk about, because like even Gabe, like I'll talk to him about it and he was like, I never knew that you were that upset. And I was like, yeah, because like I didn't want you to be upset and I didn't want anyone else to worry. But I knew I was driving one day and I just knew I had to get help. I had to ask for help because I just mentally was just not okay. So anyways, I reached out to my mom and my sister and I told her that I wasn't okay and I needed help, and I got on some medications. Now I don't know the name of them off the top of my head, but I take one for anxiety because my heart rate would go so high. And so I do take one for that, and then I also take one to help me sleep at night because my brain will not shut off. I also have ADHD, which I'm sure you guys can tell by now. If you've been following me for a while, then I'm sure you know I have ADHD, my brain never stops. And so I ended up taking a medication to help me sleep at night. It's some type of insomnia medicine. I don't know, but with all that to say, how do I handle the hate? At first, it used to really get to me. For almost a whole year, I let people dictate what I posted, who I was, how I talked, how I dressed, down to the way I fixed my hair, down to the way I did my nails. Like, I let people control me, and I never thought that I'd be that person or that I could do that. And I did, and it was hard, it was rough. I don't talk about it very much, just because I am the fun friend. And so when I do talk about how I feel, everybody's always just like, you felt that way? Like, how do you? I'm like, I don't know. It just like, I'm human just like you. But yeah, that did happen. But another reason how I deal with the hate is I know that what they say isn't true. I know who I am, and I know who I am in Christ, and I know who I am in my heart. And if you want to believe the things that you see on the internet, then you go for it. But I feel like the way that you live out your life and how you treat people and what people that know you say of you matters. My mom always told me growing up that character matters. Now, you can make mistakes and you can have proof of mistakes made, but you can change. And I feel like nowadays, nobody gives you the room to change. Nobody gives you the room to grow. I'm 21 years old. I know nothing about life. It's just that I'm showing you guys my story as I'm learning. And I feel like a lot of people forget that they were 21 at one point and made mistakes and did things that they probably shouldn't have. I should have saved more money. I should have said this differently. I should have acted this way differently. You know what I mean? I feel like if life is a growing moment, every day, even at 50 years old, I feel like you can learn something new and grow and change. And so the way that I deal with the hate is knowing who I am and knowing that what they say does not define me. Everybody that puts their life on the internet has haters. I mean, that's just, it just comes with it. But I did not understand how to take it last year, and I let it just literally overtake me. But this year, as you guys can tell, I don't care. Like, say what you want to say, do what you want to do, show up to my house, I'm gonna call the police. Like, that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, with all that to say, you are you for a reason, and it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to grow and change and learn and to admit you did wrong. That's something else that I'm learning to do this year, is admit when I'm wrong and apologize when I need to apologize. And I've been doing that. I've been doing very well. And also not taking everything that someone says to me as something hateful. Now, that is something I'm learning to get out of. Like, I'm learning that just because someone doesn't agree with me does not mean they're being hateful, does not mean that they're, you know, being rude. But there is people out there that do it to be hateful, and I can tell the complete difference. You guys can tell the complete difference. And so, it's just one of those things that you just kind of have to learn and grow and just do for yourself. But that's how I kind of deal with the hate, is knowing that it's not true. And if it was true, you would know that I'd make a video saying, hey guys, this isn't true. But I've learned to stop defending myself on the stuff that isn't true. Like, stop giving people the time of day that don't deserve a space in my life. I will never understand why someone could hate on somebody so much, down to their nose, their hair, their ears, their eyes, their eyebrows. I mean, everything I do is just hated on. Like, I can just look out the window and I'm the biggest B word you ever met. And so I finally learned, because everybody would always tell me, like, Drew, you know it's not true. So I finally was like, you know what? It isn't true. So I'm not going to believe it because it isn't true. So that is kind of how I deal with the hate. I'm still human every day. It still hurts me sometimes, but I try to tune it out and not look at it, which I've done really good. I haven't looked at it in a really long time, and I'm very proud of myself for that. But like, it's 2023. I feel like we should stop body shaming people. We should stop shaming people in general. There's a lot of people on the internet that my values don't align up with theirs, or I don't like what they like, but I would never go to the extent that these people do to hate on me. But yeah, so that's kind of this video. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. It was kind of different, just me on the camera without Gabe, but I really do hope you guys enjoyed. If you want me to do another one of these going in more details of products I use, things like that, let me know down below. But I just want to say I love you guys. Thank you so much for all the love and support. It means the world to me and Gabe. You guys are how we're able to live out our dreams, and I just cannot thank you guys enough. But again, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, give it a like so that I know you like this video and I can make more for you. But I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, friends.